Well, guess fuel pump went out. Would explain how why it's also was running rough. Another episode, I guess. All right, so if you guys watched, I went ahead and cleaned the fuel injection on this. Unfortunately, when I tried to reassemble, this is a new one. When I tried to reassemble the pressure regulator, they bend in these corners, which creates a fuel leak. So, found the part, brand new. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. I'll put the camera on time lapse real quick so you can see it. Job. Let's start it up, see if it leaks. You guys let me know if it leaks, all right? All right, so if you guys could hear the truck kind of surging back and forth. So I realized the O2 sensor was broken. And you look at it real close, there's no freaking threads left in it. Freaking hate headers. All right, let me see if I can re-tap another one. What's up guys, Kayak Garage. The next day, let's recap. So I got home from vacation, it's a good vacation. Truck had a massive fuel leak coming out of the fuel regulator on top of the TBI. Drove an hour away to get that because it's New Year's Eve, there wasn't any place to find it. Then got that in there. The truck is surging really bad, so it may be that adjustment. But before I can look at that, I realized the O2 sensor was completely broke off, and you need those in these cars. So then I spent another 3 hours trying to get that out, which you know, tore out half the threads. So I've got a thread chaser. We're gonna go ahead and try to get these threads fixed. I mean, it's probably, you know, 15-year-old, you know, Chinese-made headers that will probably just break when I put this in there. But if we can get this back in there, then we can kind of get. By the way, I bought every other sensor just to change them one by one because I don't have any way to read OBD1. So let's see how that works. All right, so this is probably the only time you'll ever hear me say this. The body lift is actually helpful here. Everywhere else, it sucks, but yes, I can actually access this. Let's see if we can get to it. Well, maybe it is a good new year, because I will take that as a win. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't think that was going to work. All right, so now let's get that hooked up. Let's start the truck, see what it does, and then we'll go from there. Well, I finally got it idling better. I unplugged the map sensor, which shows the check engine light, which ultimately means it's not getting enough fuel. So my guess is the fuel pump is probably going out in it. I'm gonna get a fuel pressure regulator on it, and then we'll see where the fuel pressure's at. It's probably not that great, and that should be the solve of the problem. What's up, guys? Brian, Cali Garage here. I started working on the truck without putting the camera out, but it's kind of hard to film anyways. But let me show you a couple little tricks I do. So I got the gas tank halfway out. Instead of trying to undo the hose, I go ahead and I take out these star bolts right here. So that slides down like that. There's a connector and a ground. The connector's up behind there. I've already done the connector, and there's a ground. But just so I don't have to crawl back into the truck, I'll just cut the wires right there. So the wires are cut for the fuel pump because I got a whole new fuel pump. I should be able to undo the, go ahead and undo the fuel lines, just enough room. And then we'll let this thing come all the way down to the ground, and we'll go ahead and replace it. So I'll touch back up with you guys in a little bit. All right, so 15 minutes later, it's out. Let me get it out from underneath the truck and clean the tools up, and then we'll start getting cleaned up and put it all back together. Oh, and just in case I forgot to mention, the tank was completely full. Sucks. Well, 45 minutes later and 17 gallons of gas pump. Now I need to clean this off and get this tank cleaned up before I put in the new, God, I'm out of breath. Before I put in the new fuel pump, but that'll probably have to be, we'll have to finish this up probably tomorrow, but let me at least get this cleaned up for now. All right, so let's get this fuel pump out and see what the tank looks like. The fuel tank actually inside looks great, to be honest with you. But if you look at the filter, yeah, probably needed a new filter. So let's get this put in there and we'll get it back in the truck. Should have put that on first, but you know. So the next is we're just gonna put it back in, which is really no big trick. So I won't film that, but let's get it back in, get all hooked up, and see if it fixes our problem. Stay tuned. I'll give you guys a little update on the Blazer. So I had to come to Florida for a family emergency, and this beautiful piece of machinery drove me over 700 miles without skipping a beat. Yeah, it had a couple little issues. You know, headlights to go out. You know, it was a little noisy with the exhaust. But how great is this 32-year-old truck?